Greetings from London. This is Mariam Sharif, and welcome to the Star Moguls podcast. So, my guest today, I saw her on Instagram recently, and she's been awarded for the Queen's Medal, so the British Empire Medal, which is such an honor. And I simply had to get her on the show because she's I think, one of the ladies that I've met a very long time ago, and such an inspiration in the sports arena. So, I'd like to welcome Salma. Hi, Salma.
Hello,
Assalamu
hello.
alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I am great. I'm great. Just busy with all these meetings and catching up, and
Yes,
it's
firstly,
nice. I've been looking forward to having a chat with you.
big congratulations, my darling. That is such
Thank you.
wonderful news. And when I saw it, and I was like, she's well deserved for it.
Thank
She
you
really
so much.
deserves it
Thank you.
because you have. I mean, we caught up. On Friday just to kind of obviously sort out the interview details, but I remember telling you that we actually met at the first time. I think it was at Warwick University or something for a talk. I was doing something on entrepreneurship or confidence, and you had, obviously with your sports. And when I saw you that day, and I just thought there's something special about her. She's going to do something. So I think that you're like the bend it like Beckham for cricket.
Oh yes, everybody does say that.
Does everybody
Everybody
say
does
that?
say
Do you
that.
get that
Yes, they do.
similarity?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. For a long time, I've loved watching the movie as well. But there
Yeah.
was a friend of mine who set up a sporting company with me. We used to call each other Jess and Jules, and that's the
Oh,
characters of Bendy Like Beckham. But it's more or less gone that way.
yeah, yeah. And so we've met on numerous occasions where, I'm styling or I'm attending for, reporting for the show, and you're collecting an award and you're attending as well. So it was really nice to kind of see each other at numerous award ceremonies. And here we are now, years later, reconnected. And you are the second lady, actually, from my guests, British Pakistani Muslim, who has been honored with a BME, which
Wow.
I'm great because, like, this is such an amazing platform for showcasing all these wonderful women. So, and now you are one of them. How do you
Thank
feel?
you.
How do you feel when the news came to you?
Oh, it was exciting at the same
Yeah,
time. It was just meant that, oh, everything that I've done is paid off, and it's nice. It still doesn't sink in at times because you think you've worked hard, and yes, the Queen has acknowledged all the work that you've done. And when I look at that, when I set up my sporting company, believe in making a difference, that's what mm, they want to see. They want me to create diversity,
yeah,
create opportunities in the community, and it's great to see that because it was more coaching, doing for others. That's what
yes.
stood out more than what me playing cricket. And I think that is a great way to put it because I could have played my cricket and enjoyed my games and then just go home, take off my kit, and that's it, and live my personal life. But I think where it's shown more when I started doing for others.
So you're such a great role model for people that, for women, especially who want to go into cricket and who thinks that, it's a women's sport. And, we've always, obviously uh, cricket's always associated with, men playing it and hardly women. How did you develop this interest for cricket, and why cricket?
Cricket because family background. Our childhood was about cricket. We watched the
Yeah,
World Cup being played all the time. You watch the Pakistan team and you see your parents are praying for the team to win the World Cup. You have your role models, you have your favorite players, and you
yeah, yeah,
impersonate them in the garden. And I just took it from there, and I thought, I want to do something different, and why not? I've seen a lot of people play cricket, and why can't
yeah.
girls play? And I just took it on, and I thought, yeah, come on, I want to play this sport and see where it's going to get me. I didn't have no idea that women play cricket or girls. Even when I spoke to a lot of people in my community about, oh, I play cricket, I play for Worcestershire County, or I'm a coach. A lot of the feedback from men were, oh, I can hit you at the park for six. And you comments like this, and you think, seriously, you do not do it for this. And if anything, you should be supporting a girl playing cricket.
So when you started playing cricket with your cousins, and obviously you're probably the only female that's playing cricket, like, did they encourage you, or did they say, "Oh, you're just a girl, what do you know about cricket?" And then did you obviously you surprise them?
Oh yeah, I think with my brothers as well. My brother played in the same club team as me, and we were compared so much that he got fed up and said, "You know, I'm going to leave this team because they're saying that you are better playing for the men's side than I am." And I had to improve my cricket. It wasn't against the men, or just to prove that I'm a girl playing cricket. It was something that I wanted to discipline myself with, and he gave me that thrill. It gave me that focus of life. I enjoyed that it was a positive mindset. I could come home and say, look, I've done something different. I always had it in my mind that I want to do something different, something out of the norm, and something that I can talk about. And it's a great feeling. It's difficult at the same time, because when you are trying to convince people in the community, your parents, they were telling you, oh, you're playing cricket but you're not getting paid for it, so where's it going to get you? When I
Yeah.
noticed and I found that there was women playing, there was girls actually making a career out of this, and I thought, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to take on.
So
You're
did
not
you
always
get
going to have the
encouraged
best game.
did you get encouraged for like at school, or like, did you play for school or
It
college?
was a school cricket team, and I was captain for the team. We went and played against other schools, and that's where I met a county coach. And he said to me, I think you, as a spin bowler, you should trial for county. And I said to him, what is county? I have no idea what club, where do I go? And he was like, here's a number, give them a call and book yourself in for trials. And I remember me and another girl from our school, we went together. The coach dropped us off. It wasn't even my family members, and they dropped us off, and we went and trialed. When we did, we was a bit, you know taken aback, thinking all these girls have professional kits, and their parents are all standing outside the nets and hoping they're going to get selected, and we were there, just girls walking in, no uniform on, and no kit, no nothing with
Not
us.
really
And
knowing what to expect really when you
exactly,
went in. Yeah.
you think to yourself, oh wow, you are the best, and you are going to win the World Cup. But when you go there, you realize this is actually harder than you think. Now,
Yeah.
is it down to you? Are you going to take on this role? Are you going to give up and go home and say, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm going to quit? But then when I looked at the girls around me, I thought these girls are younger than me as well, and they've got a lot of support because they come from better communities, better
Yeah.
classes, and you think, wow, I've missed out on a lot. But do I give myself a shot, and I still want to prove it? And it was a lot of learning for me. I enjoyed every minute of it. I didn't get selected for the teams that I wanted straight away.
I'm just going to take you back. So, your you said that the kid, the girl's parents were there. And so how was your how was the response from your family and from your, like, father, especially, and your mother? Like, what did they say about you playing cricket? Because obviously the other girls have got support by their parents, and you're a Pakistani, Muslim female that wants to go into this sport, which is hardly unlikely. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think there was many people before you, really, was
Uh,
there?
my dad came from a sporting background. He played
Right.
judo or kabaddi, if
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
heard about that.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he's played
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
we have seen trophies and medals in the house. So it was more or less, it was in the blood. But when he looked at his sons, he thought, well, how come the boys are not going to play professional, and my daughter, she wants to play?
Yeah.
At the same time, my dad would say, well, you're doing this at school, you don't need to do this outside of school hours, and it's going to be a lot of commitment. And they didn't take it seriously, and I give a lot of credit to my mother. She had to fight against my dad and say, look, let her play, go on, she's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
um she's got a brother, my uncle, he played cricket, and she said, come on, it's nice, I want to see my kids bring home medals and trophies. And she stood up a lot for me, and I think I took it from there. I didn't hear about many girls playing cricket. I only, when I started getting into Worcestershire County and I saw other girls around me, and I researched, there was a Pakistan women's cricket team, the Indian women's cricket team.
Yeah.
These girls were coming in on tour to England. And that's how I got the chance to know about them and see them and meet them and even train with them. So I took it on board, and I thought, I gave myself a chance. I thought, do I play for the Pakistan women's team or I'll play for the England women's team?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm playing cricket.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And How did you start that? I mean, did somebody like, were you put forward by your teachers, or how do you get represented by a county then to go, because that's a big jump, isn't it,
Oh
to
yes.
a county, because that's something you really have to have a, like you said, dedication, you have to spend time, and this is really kind of your focus of a new career path. So how does one get into county? How did you get,
So what happened with me when I was trialing for Warwickshire, there was a coach there called Bob, and he came up to me and said, "We are looking for a spin bowler for a club."
right?
And this was now a step down. "Are you playing for a club?" And I said, "No, actually, no, I've just turned up to trial for county." And he said to me, "You're not going to get in. You need to play at least 4 or 5 club games a season. They will look at your performance, then they will select you for county." And I said, "Okay, I'll play for you guys. And we're looking for a spin bowler. Why not?" And I did tell him, "Look, my parents are not supportive, and how do I go about this, because you are expecting me to play every Sunday and come training on a Friday." He said,
Yeah.
"I'll pick and drop you off. That's my problem. Don't worry. I do that with a lot of girls." And I think he supported me quite a lot. That's where I had the opportunity to trial for Worcestershire. I missed the first 2 training sessions when I was referred from my club coaches to Worcestershire. It was my last trial session. From a only spin bowler, I walked into a county team of 7 spin bowlers, and I looked at them and I thought, wow, I got no chance. I'm here. They've given me a 40-minute window. I've
Yeah.
got a bowl spin in front of them. I've got to have a little bat. I don't think I will get selected, but why not? Give it a chance. You never know. This was in 2009. The second day, I got a call to say, "You've just been selected for Worcestershire County, and we
Wow.
will send you the list of the kit that you need. And here's the website. Just order your things, and we'll send you the dates when you've got to play your games." And I was like, wow, I've just got into county, and it was amazing. It's like when
And
you
how
get
did
into
your parents
university.
feel at that time? How does they thought,
For my
okay,
dad, he still said to me, "Oh, okay, that's it. Wow, you're playing, and are you going to be on TV?" And I was like, "I don't know, Dad. They're not going to promote it." Back then, county cricket wasn't broadcasted on TV. There
yeah,
wasn't much support,
yeah, you're
and
right.
it's difficult because at the same time, it's like any Asian parents. They say, "Well, you didn't get the best grades.
Yeah,
What's the other point? Or you're not going to become a doctor.
yeah.
We don't care about anything else." But I had to
But I
prove a
also
lot.
think that parents also test the children to see if they actually want to be in that field, because I know that my father was very encouraging, my mother more so, but they want to know if you really want to do it. Like,
Exactly.
is this really your passion to do it? You know what I mean? So,
My
or to
independence,
prove.
there's a lot of to prove. My independence came when I passed my driving. It was
Right.
because me driving that I took myself to the games.
Yeah, so just want to point out that you're actually based in Birmingham. So you
Yeah,
obviously
was
take
traveling
your,
to Worcestershire,
and
and
that's
that's
about
the
what, about an hour, is it?
50 minutes,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
up
yeah,
to an hour,
back and
up to an
yeah,
hour.
roundabouts, right? So that's a long time, to go back and forth on a
It
weekly
was
basis.
crazy. I mean, at the same time, I was the first girl to get into university, and again, I had a lot of barriers to break because I
In your
remember
family, you're saying your family, yeah,
in my family, because I didn't even think my dad was going to allow me to get into university. I applied, got my place, and I showed him the letter, and I said, "Dad, Monday I'm going to university." And looked at me and said, "Well, what course are you doing?" And I said, "I always wanted to work in a hospital,
yeah,
mm, because I when I was 9, I lost my mom."
mm,
And I lost my mom. They had an operation. They had fibroids, and they lost so much blood. And I just remember when I was young, at by 12, 13, I looked at their death certificate, and I looked at the reasons why they passed away. I wasn't told initially, and I think it was
yeah.
too traumatic. And then I just remember at that time thinking, if I was in that position to look after someone, or look after my mom, what could have I done? And I took it on board, and I thought, I want to give back to those people who tried to save my mom's life. And I want to work in a hospital. I don't know what as. I just want to get into university. I want to work. And then I got into nursing. I did my nursing, and I said to my dad, "Look, I'm going to university. It's a
Quite
3-year course."
contrast from my quite a contrast between caring and working as a nurse, and then going into sports. It's quite different spectrums. You know what I'm saying? One's
It
quite
is.
soft, caring aspect, and one's quite, competitive,
Oh
and
yes.
do you know what I mean? Like
It,
there's such a spectrum of it, such a opposite spectrum, I would say.
you say that because when we used to go to a local sports center down the road, and I used to play, and girls used to look at me playing football and say, Sama, you're best to play in goals because you are tripping everyone up or you're fouling everyone. You're so, hot-headed. And then there is me doing nursing, and you are right. And it's a caring, rewarding job, and I've got to be full of patience. And I think I learned that discipline from playing my sports. But initially, before all this,
Yeah.
I remember
So you've
I
got your you're studying for university, and you're training for cricket, right? At the same time, we're playing cricket, county cricket, I must say,
yes,
at the
yes,
same time.
it was my nursing that was paying my sports. So
Right.
whatever I was earning, I was saving up and using it to get my kit and my travel expenses, because it's an expensive sport. It's not easy. You're not just playing at Worcestershire. You'll be traveling down to Derbyshire, Warwickshire, London. There's so many, Cardiff, there's so many different grounds
So
that you,
where were
Portsmouth.
you working then? Which hospital did you work? Where did you work then?
I worked at Heartlands Hospital, but at the
Right.
same time, I worked all over the West Midlands. You
Right.
pick up
Okay.
bank shifts, and you get yourself involved and do more shifts. So I
Yeah.
gave myself a chance to work in wards, and then chose my specialty, which was hemodialysis.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And I just want to mention, because the way my lifestyle was hectic and on the
Yeah.
go, I loved every bit of it. At the same time, my doctor had prescribed me beta blockers because he said to me, "You've got a very high adrenaline rush."
Oh,
So
really?
that's why the way my life was, perfect for me. For me, it was good.
Right.
It's hard for somebody to say, Salma, you just did a 12-hour shift and now you're going for a 2-hour training session. And
Yeah.
that training session, I was more energetic in that session than I was working all day. And it was something that I had to look forward to all day. And the next day, I would do the same thing. Sometimes my parents wouldn't see me.
So your body's just made that way, right? So
Yes.
that's the way I got to check myself as well for that then.
So I loved every minute of it. And I think that hype kept me going, and the
Yeah.
lifestyle that I had. So I wasn't complaining. I loved it. I used that energy the right way. I took it
Yeah.
out on something that was
Productive.
really, that's it.
Productive energy. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I think we all have a number, we have time and we have energy, and it's how we use it, isn't it? And we've
Yes.
got to use it in the right way, which you did. So what did you do after that? Then you're working, you're at county, and then where did you progress from there then?
So I played my cricket at Worcestershire. Then I heard about these some of the players are playing for the MCC, where they get to meet the England players. And I always thought, no one's going to really guide me to getting into the best level of cricket, and I've got to
Yeah.
do this myself. Because as much as I feel proud of saying that I played for Worcestershire County, it was a hard time. I had to face racism. I had to face discrimination. I was left on the bench. There was many games where they told me you're 12 man. So I'm carrying drinks all day long for players. I'm not even getting to play. And there
Quite
is me
disheartening.
at
Yeah.
home. I'm telling my family, look, I'm playing for a big team. But then
Yeah.
when I'm going out there, I'm not even being selected. It was hard. I looked at it and I thought, how do I take it from here? What is it that I need to do different to get onto that score sheet? So I started playing for the men's side. I walked into a team, the Wall Cricket Club, and they were really welcoming. A group of men, and said to me, Salma, yeah, come on, you can join. And me and my younger sister, we played for the
So what
team.
was
And
it, like a mixed group, or was
no,
it
it was all
just
men.
it
It
was
was
all
all
men?
men. They
So
never heard.
was that allowed? I mean,
Yes, yes, it was allowed, because I knew some clubs, and the club that I played at, I knew some of the daughters would play where their father was playing if they were short
right.
with players. I
Yeah.
just turned up to this team in Lichfield and I said, do you have any space for me to play? And they said, well, we've not done this before, but yeah, why not come and play for the third team? So I played and I loved it. I took more wickets for the men's side than I did for the women. That helped me to improve my cricket, not to prove that I'm better than the men. When I did that, I went
Did you
back to
learn
my
something?
county.
What did you learn by? What was the difference, and what did you learn
I learned
by
that
playing
when men see a
women?
woman bowling at them, they get really impatient and they believe they're going to hit a big shot. And whereas women, this is true, women actually have a bit more patience and they use their mind a bit more better than
Right,
when they're
a bit
very
more
selective.
strategic, where men are
That's
more
correct.
impulsive.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah, they
So,
think ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, all
So
right.
they got a bit worried. So I loved that bit of it. So yeah, when I took all that learning, I went back to my county. And when I did get selected for my games, I made sure, come on, I need to take at least one wicket. I don't want to get on that score sheet. And I took it from there. Then I went and played for the MCC, which is Marylebone Cricket Club in London.
Yeah.
And I hear this club is based in Lords, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to get to play at the nursery end. I needed three people to write me a reference letter.
Yeah.
Managed to get that from my coaches, and there I am selected, and I see the likes of Claire Taylor, Charlotte Edwards, and I think in these girls, Danny White, Georgia Elvis, and I think, wow, these are academy players. They've played for England and they know what's going on. They know the selectors, and this is my chance. I played my games, and again, another learning, another tough step that I took, and I had to take a lot of learning from that when I played along the guys. I loved every minute of it. We played against Hong Kong, Japan, Holland. We played great teams, and I trained with the girls, and I thought, wow, this is everything. I remember one game where there
I
was
think
an under
because
sixteen.
you kind of stepped up that level, haven't you? You kind of, that's
Yes,
the next level of even your growth as a, yeah, a player,
as
isn't
a
it?
player.
Because you just kind of, and I think that's the excitement of it as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
sorry, what were you saying? What did you learn?
Yeah, at this time I was 21 of age, and there was a female player next with me in my team, and she was encouraging my bowling every time I would bowl. She was every ball she was encouraging, really good comments, and I looked back and I thought, thank you for the support. I took it thinking, wow, she's just a nice person.
Yeah.
Later at the end of the game, I said to one of the girls, I said, who's that lady? I mean, she was really supportive of me, and she said, she's the under 16 selector. And I looked at it, I thought, wow. But then I thought, how do I react to that? Because I'm not 16, I'm not under
Yeah.
16. And if
Yeah.
she was the selector, and if I was a bit younger and I played for the MCC, I would have been in the right place to be selected for England. But
Yeah.
it's just a shame, I didn't start off at an age where I should have.
Yeah, and
But
maybe because you didn't also know how to kind of what was the structure of it, because there's obviously a process that you've got to go through,
exactly,
the structure, right? Like a lot of people that start off with any support, they go like sport, they go through the academies and training,
that's
and
it.
then they go to the higher level. So obviously
That's right.
you it was all unknown, so you're just
It was
learning this as
just
you're going
learning
along.
along the way.
Yeah,
And from there, I played my cricket. I loved it. I played for Northants County Cricket as well. And with that county, I just walked in. It wasn't a bother at all for me because
yeah,
I did all the hard work. I did the
excellent.
legwork. And when you go and play for a different county and you've made up a reputation for yourself, the
Right.
coaches want you every game. And it was such a difference where I battled to get into a team. I
Yeah,
walked into a new team and they loved every minute of it. From all this, I learned, like you said, if I was a bit younger, I could have got somewhere and I could have achieved something.
yeah.
And I looked at it and I saw, if I was younger and if I had all these opportunities, how would have I made something easier for myself? So this is where we set up a community interest company.
Right.
And we decided we're going to host events, we're going to run sessions, we're going to set up a platform where people can come to us for guidance, and this is where we're going to make that pathway for them to get into sports.
Because you realize that that was an opportunity kind of missed in a way that you want to actually provide for others that come along.
That's correct.
Okay, great.
And from there we heard about an event in Brazil. It was a futsal, five-a-side football. We used to play futsal anyway. I set up a all girls Asian team, and it was called the Great White Sharks. We loved playing in Birmingham, the futsal arena. And we, us girls, sat down. We said, let's to replicate what they did in Brazil. They set a record of 10 hours. Let's beat that record, or let's do a women's event, because that was a men's event. We applied for the Guinness World Book of Records. They
Right.
said to us, oh, because it's already been set, we can't say that it was a women's or a men's. It's the record has been set. Either
Right.
you beat it and contact us, or you just
Okay.
go ahead with
It's
the
not a
event.
gender issue. Yeah.
No, it was an agenda issue. So
Yeah.
we went and we did the women's event, and we set a 10-hour record. When we first advertised the event, I didn't think we were going to get a good response, because it was a crazy idea. Who would actually
Yeah.
sign up to play 10 hours straight?
Yeah.
And the feedback was amazing. We had girls from Manchester, London, down in Derby. We thought, wow, where are these girls coming from? And they are coming with a group of friends, and they all want to get involved. There's
Yeah.
24 girls in total, and they are going to raise money for charity. And they took part in this event, and it was amazing because they played 10 hours straight, and
Wow.
it was
Amazing.
really good. Yeah, and I
You
thought,
got a record for the Guinness Book of Records?
we
Oh, you
didn't, but
didn't.
we beat our 10-hour record. We
Okay.
did 20 hours.
Okay.
We did 20 hours, and it was good. The feedback we got, the girls, they just wanted to do more and more events, and I was inspired. We did 10 hours. We did the futsal, then we did World Dodgeball, then we did Indo T10 Cricket World Cup. I didn't only look at women's event. I thought, let me do a cricket men's event. And the men, their response again, it was great. They loved it. They wanted to do more. So again, funding cuts, it was difficult, but
Yeah.
we raised profiles. We set up a project called Get Her in the Game, and it was good. Just what we wanted to do, and it was just, I think, everything that I worked hard for,
Yeah.
it came out the way.
That's fantastic. So I want to let everybody know that you are actually an all-rounder. So you
Yeah,
actually married and you have three children, mashallah.
yeah.
So how do you balance, like, because you're not just play cricket and have all these other initiatives, but you are also umpiring, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, you're umpiring, you're a mummy, and now I want to know, how did that all fit in, and what have you learned from being a mother and a wife, and what have you learned from your sportsmanship and applied it to your personal life?
I think overall, I always look at it and say, when you get that chance in life, take it. Do whatever you can. I came from a family where I wasn't guided. I wasn't told, this is your purpose of life, and this is what you're going to go and set out to do. Nothing was ready for me on a plate. I had to make that up. I take it back where I know my eldest sister is disabled, and
Right. Okay.
then my other brothers, they were autistic. So when I see that, and I think I came from a family where we all weren't gifted, and we all didn't have the ability to do
Quite
what we could.
difficult circumstances then, Salma. Yeah.
It is. And I look back at it and I say, I did it for them.
Yeah.
And with my mom leaving us at a young age, and I think,
Yeah.
wow, life is so short, and we need to make the most of everything we have in our lives. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I had that ability, I had that time. We all have the same 24 hours. Why not, let's make the most of what we want and what we can do? And I look back and I think, wow, I've lived my life, I'm happy. I'm not going to get that chance again. I can't. My priorities change. I've played cricket in between having my kids, and
How
I
did you
played it.
manage that, Superwoman? Because
I
you know
know
what I mean.
I
That
did
that
it, but I actually, when I did play the game, that feeling wasn't the same. I couldn't focus on competitive cricket. I was missing my kids like crazy. I
Oh,
was ringing up, and it's not so bad when you go into work, but
yeah,
I felt like, am I a selfish mother? I'm going and doing something that I love, my passion, and
yeah.
I'm missing out on my kids. But my husband, alhamdulillah, very supportive. He knew the lifestyle I lived, and
Your husband, I must say, is such a superstar himself. I'm like, I think he's your biggest fan, and that's exactly how, I think marriage should be. Like, as like my mom supported me whenever I had to do something, and I think you need someone in your life that you have that was gonna push you,
oh
is
yes,
wants you to succeed, and I can see that in him. And mashallah, you're such a good team. You know what I
thank
mean?
you so much, thank
Excellent,
you.
mashallah, mashallah. Um, How did your in-laws? So, obviously husband's on your side.
Yeah.
How did your in-laws feel about you playing cricket? Because it's all having your family, your immediate family
Yeah.
support you is another thing. But when you marry into another family, especially South Asian families, Pakistani families, not so welcoming to the idea. So how did you tackle that? How's that been for you?
I think because he is my cousin.
Right.
So
Okay.
I was fortunate he knew about my life. I remember he was a head teacher in Pakistan. So
Right.
he would ask a few of his cousins to send my articles over to him. So I didn't know about this, but he would read up and actually talk about me to the kids, to his class.
Oh,
And he
wow.
would use it as a positive inspiration, and he
Yeah.
would
Like
actually
a
tell
role model.
people. So he was empowering women and actually saying to them, look, there's this girl, she's my family member, and she's doing this, and I want you girls to do something, make something of your life. I went, after we did get married, I did a few talks in for the Reed Foundation schools where he worked. And it was nice because he gave me that platform to say, Salma, do what you have to do, carry on with it. And I took it on stride. My in-laws, alhamdulillah, very supportive. It's difficult sometimes. They don't grasp the idea of what I'm doing.
It's a different
But
mindset, isn't it? I think it's the generational gap as well, and then
yeah,
obviously it's a different mindset.
yeah, they know that I did this before marriage. They know this is the way I was, and it didn't change. It wasn't that I was going to say, look, I'm going to carry on doing everything that I'm doing, or I'm going to put a full stop to it. My husband saw the impact I had on others, so he knew when I was going into primary schools and coaching, and I've done a session, and he loved the fact that, yes, Alma, you're doing something for good for the community, so why should I
Yeah.
stop you? And it's something lovely to talk about. Recently now with the British Empire medal, if it's brought me to this, then obviously everyone knows that I haven't wasted my life, my time, and everything I've done has paid off.
Yeah, and Alhamdulillah, it's such a because sometimes men's egos, and then they also feel, inferior. But the fact that when I guess the greater good is the fact that you have such a great impact and influence over your
Yeah,
community.
I mean,
For women
he's
that
never going to be left in the shadow. He's When he came over, I told him, I got him to do
does he
some
play cricket? Does he play cricket?
he played park level cricket, and I said to
Yeah,
him, don't play park leagues. I wanted him to play for a club.
yeah,
He's very active where he wants to work. His motto is, I've got to make the living, I'm the man in the house, and I want to provide for my kids. And I love that he always wants to learn new things, and he's got his own skills. He did a bit of running, he got involved into sprinting, and he loved that. And again, he looked at the way where he said, we got to make a living as well, and all this.
he's
It's
just,
easy, there's a
very
time for everything.
practical. He's thinking of the bigger pictures, and he's
He
very
was.
practical sense of it, which is good.
But
But
then
the fact that
he
he
does know that, oh, my kids want to, they will want to be like this tomorrow, we're going to teach them. And I said, exactly, rather than tell your
So
kids,
how
oh,
old are
you're
your
going to follow
children,
pop
and
stars.
how do they feel about Memi playing cricket?
Oh, the kids love it. They find it funny, but I play with them inside the house. I get
Yeah,
them involved, and it's nice. I'm like a child at mind, and I get them involved, and I see it that way. I don't want them just to sit there on the TV or iPads, and we've taken all that sort of away from them and say, yes, we've got to be involved with them. My kids know that mommy is playing sports, and I say to my eldest daughter, you want to bring medals, you want a trophy, you're going to be my superstar, and you're going to earn work hard. And she sees it that, yes,
yeah.
mommy, I want to be like this. So they're around the house.
Inspiration. Yeah, you're inspiring them from a young age, which is so
But
nice.
then at the same time, I don't want to put that pressure on them, because as a coach, I have seen where younger girls have been pushed by parents so much, the
Yeah,
child is losing interest because the child is feeling pressurized and they've got to perform. I don't want to do that with my kids. I don't want my child to think, mommy achieved so much and I've got to follow those footsteps.
yeah.
That's how I see it. I say, when it's their time, when they want to pick it up, and if they do, I'll be with them. I'll support them all the way. But if they don't, I'm not going to be disappointed. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, and I think that's the best approach actually. So we've talked about all of your achievements and accolades. You've got 9 national awards, mashallah. What's been the probably I would say the most difficult, challenging time for you in your life? Is there something that's been really quite hard for you to deal with, and how did you overcome that? Because I know sportsmanship mindset is completely different, but how does one deal with something like in your own life? Have you gone through some kind of challenge that was just you thought, I can't get up from this?
I say you have a lot of challenges every step of the way where you
Yeah.
do lose support.
What's your process, and what's your creative process? How did you get out of that, and what did you go through?
Um, I A lot of it is when I was trying to prove a lot of people that I'm not doing anything difficult. I've
Okay.
had a lot of negative feedback at the same time. I've had girls say, "Well, so what if you play cricket? What's so big about it? Why do you have
Yeah.
to talk about it?" And it's hard, and you think not everyone's going to accept what you achieve in life and what you
Yeah.
do. You don't do it for their acceptance, but you carry on doing what you do. And again, my process is leave them, let them be, because those criticisms actually make you a better person, and it's something that you get up from and you say, that's life, that's the world that we live in. Not everyone's going to be happy. You don't do it to please others. There was a time when I settled down and I had my kids. It's not something I really talk about, but I'm so privileged and honored to talk to you because you're a very long friend that I've had. Something that happened to me, and it does run in my family. It's a vitiligo, which is like a
Right.
skin pigmentation.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
you probably
Yeah.
heard about that. I
Yeah.
don't talk about it as much, and a lot of it is sort of started on my neck and it spread. And there was a time where this
Is
is
that
sound
something in your family that is
my
prevalent?
auntie had it, and my dad does say that my grandma had it. I didn't meet them, but yeah, they had it. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
so over time all your skin gets quite light and
Yes.
it's difficult, and you might get patches on your face and
Yeah.
places where it's hard and you don't want to show. At a time when I think when I had my first newborn, it was difficult because I wasn't out doing a lot of things that I wanted to do. A body image, it really puts you down. And then when you're always in the limelight and you're talking about your awards and you're talking to people, it was difficult. I think I didn't worry so much about what people are going to think. I was more scared about how is my husband going to respond to this. And he's my biggest support, and alhamdulillah, like you say, we work as a team, and he looked at it and said, this is something that you can't control. It's
Yeah.
given, it's happened, it's in your family, it's genetic, and it could happen to anyone. And this is the way you are now, and I'm married to you, so what can I do? I can't return you.
It's not I was going to say it's not destructive or degenerative or anything like that, is it? It's just a
No,
pigmentation, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's not contagious.
Yeah, it's not contagious and it doesn't harm the body as such, does it?
No,
There's no
no,
effect
no.
on the body internally, is there?
Over
So,
time, no, over time what will happen is if I do go all really really fair, that's all. That's probably sometimes a benefit, in South
yeah, yeah, but
Asian.
some of the greatest models on the catwalk
Yeah,
have done it, and it's not stopped anybody. So,
yeah. I mean, this is probably the first time I've openly announced this, and I don't really talk about this to a lot of people.
yeah.
And again, this is something with mental health and how I talk about body image.
What was going through your mind when you when you saw a few of these kind of
Marks, yeah.
earmarks happening? What went through your mind? Literally, that what is your husband gonna think? That's the main thing
That's
that
all.
you.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
he going to accept me for the way he is? Is he going to
yeah,
see me the same as the same person I am?
yeah.
At first, I actually tried some camouflage creams, and I got put off thinking I'm going to try to hide something that I can't. It's going to eventually spread. It'll be on my fingers, on my feet, and I can't. If he accepts me for the way I am, he knows and he understands who I don't need to worry about anyone else.
I
And
guess it's just the perception of beauty, isn't it? How we
yeah,
perceive beauty and what we expect the standards of beauty are. But
exactly.
love conquers that.
It's true. It's true. Now this is me, Salma, the girl who has almost done everything that I could ever want to achieve, and I'm looking after people who have kidney failure, and then there's something that's happening to me, and I can't handle it. So you just don't know how hard something hits you.
Yeah,
I think I didn't really take a photo of myself for at least a year before I
really.
started accepting myself, and I thought this is not right. This is not healthy. I'm just going into postnatal depression. I can't do this. A lot of people look up to me, and I have to change that. Um,
Was it,
my
sorry,
only worry is
was it triggered from the pregnancy then?
they
Or
say
not?
that it not really, but it
No, no,
was,
but it
yeah,
just
when you
happened simultaneously.
it just happened, and it seemed like, was it every time I'm going to get pregnant I'm going to start seeing more marks on my
Yeah.
face or elsewhere? But no, it's just one of those things. It's
Okay.
genetic, and it's something I've got to accept, and the sooner I accept it, the easier it will be. My biggest, sometimes my worry is, will this happen to my kids? You
Yeah.
know, will
Okay.
we're in a day and age, okay, I'm married, I've made something of myself. I'm settled. I'm content. I
Yeah.
don't. If it was to happen to my child, God forbid, I don't want it to happen when they're in school. They're going to be bullied. But then when I look back at everything that I've achieved, I just hope they can use that as guidance and hold on to and say, my mom and my dad have done all this in their life. It shouldn't. What we look like shouldn't stop us from achieving what we want to do in life. So I take it as that, and I'm going to
So the
do my
fear
best to
really
be
was
there
for
for them,
for the children rather than
than
probably
myself.
even yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see how it is. But I
Inshallah,
like the
you
fact
know
that,
what? And I also know that you also have great faith. So,
yes,
and I'm one believer of the fact that, you know, we everything happens for a reason. We go through certain things, and maybe this is something that you know, you another chapter for you to kind of tell people and then make people aware,
exactly.
because you've got such a, marshall, a big you know, platform, and you can, and the awareness that you can create. And I'm happy that you feel that you are in a safe place to talk about this to
Yeah.
me, because
Yes.
I do believe that because of styling and the way that we look in
Thank
our
you.
image,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
so all about like how we look, and sometimes we have to take a step back about what we perceive as beauty. And
Yes.
beauty for me, or you know, it's not just the way we look, but it's the way we speak. It's how
Yes.
we talk, how we walk, how we deal with others, our manners and etiquette. So, and if we take away that, and also then think that, you know, Allah Ta'ala puts us in these situations for certain reasons, and let's take that, like, you know, a negative or something that's not great, and make and turn it into a positive, which you're
No,
good
but like I
doing.
say, like it's a balance. If I've been gifted with everything else, why can't I accept this? So
Yeah.
what? Never mind. It's something that's happened, and Alhamdulillah, like I'll still be grateful to Allah. So it could be worse. I could have something difficult. I looked after patients who are on dialysis. They rely on a machine. They have to go for dialysis 3 times a week. I can still walk away from that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it could be worse. That's how I see it. So never mind if this is what I've got to deal with. People deal with worse in life. So, like you say, Alhamdulillah, and that's the best way to put
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Just be grateful for everything, and the fact that we've gone through such a, you know, a tragic 2020, you know, for so many, and the fact that you're on front line, and you're you know, mother, looking after home, doing your cricket, and then having to, you know, you're still working as a nurse, and so it's, you know, you're just fantastic. You know, how do you, like, even after all of this, I mean, um I think I think that's fuel for you. I
Yeah,
now I
yeah.
think that it is fuel.
Now
The
you
more you do,
understand. Yeah,
yeah, the more you do, because I'm like that. I got to keep on doing something,
yeah,
initiative or a project or something to keep going. And then what's the next chapter? What can I do next? So you know, I hope that people learn from you, and also learn the fact that it's not going to stop you for anything.
no,
You know, it's
exactly.
just something that is perceived beauty, but if it doesn't, alhamdulillah, give you any other, you know, any other pain or any other discomfort, and it's not harming your life in any other such way,
No,
you know, you can deal with it. You can absolutely deal with, you've got the support of family and your friends, and you know,
yeah,
all of.
and we're in a day and age where people talk about all this now, and it's nice. I love how the younger generation can share mental health,
Yeah.
depression. They create such great awareness, and there's so much out there, and I wish I could be like that. I don't think I'm in that position right now to talk about it as much. I don't want it to become just part of my life. I think I want people to see more than that. And yeah, I would like to look at it when now my next step will be to collect my medal. And I'm feeling like, do I want to put a post where, do you see a woman collecting a post? Do you see a mother? Do you see a girl with a skin disorder? What do you see? So really, are these medals out there for everyone? And yes, they are. So why not? I've given myself a chance, and alhamdulillah, I'm there.
Yeah, no, that mashallah, that it is. And collecting your award is probably going to be the most beautiful thing. It's something for you to look forward to, and especially the fact that we've had such one of these years, and talking about the fact that you can talk about these things now. And I think, previous generations that, I think the older generation
It's a
first,
taboo subject or
it's a taboo
yes,
subject. You don't talk about it. You don't admit that there's anything wrong. You've got to just get on with it and soldier
yes,
on. And then there's no expression of feelings and emotions. And how do you deal with something like that? You're either meant to sweep them underneath the carpet,
yeah,
and then if you do express it, then you're kind of scolded for the fact that, why are you even saying that? Don't say it, because you shouldn't express anything like that's negative. And then we fall on faith, that everything is
yeah.
to do with faith. And Allah will help us, which you definitely, there's a great strength in there. But I think
You need to do
there
something
has to be
yourself
an
as well.
understanding of who you are, and
Yeah,
how have you come to this point, and what can you do to manage these feelings and manage your emotions, in order to kind of help you for the rest of your life. Because otherwise you'll be stuck with these feelings, and every time something
exactly.
happens, then those feelings will come about, and those
Yeah,
feelings will, because you're suppressing them. But
yes,
anytime something happens, there's a situation or some circumstances, that emotion or that feeling will
it's true.
arise.
I
And
mean,
so, it can go back years and years. And so if you don't understand and solve out how you work
how
and
will you
who you
change it
are,
where
yeah,
you are?
you
Exactly.
can't. You really have to. So
As with
we
sports, sorry,
muddle through,
uh,
kind of muddle.
girls didn't always, they didn't contact me because they wanted to play sports. Sometimes girls wanted to come to a session to get away from trouble at home, or have that social involvement, make new friends, learn something from other people. And
Yeah,
it was nice to see that, because they are in depression, they are suicidal,
yeah,
they don't have a way of life, or they need that guidance. And it was good to see
yeah.
that they took
Like
part in
a
these
kind of
sessions.
a youth club, isn't it? Because I've worked for youth
Yes.
community for about, well, about nearly, say, probably 15 years. I was part of a youth club, and then became a trainer, and I actually did my first event with my girls, and we trained them for netball.
Okay.
And we won at the NEC. We trained and we won
Well
the
done.
actual competition, because my mom actually used to play netball for Pakistan as well. So, my mom's a
Wow.
sportsman as well, shot
Wow.
put, javelin. It's nice where you have, girls talking about these topics at an early age, so they're
Yeah.
aware and
Yeah.
not going in blindly to situations, because parents don't talk about these situations.
Yeah.
And
It's
until you
true.
get to school, or until you get into college, and you got to understand who you are, and what is out there. I think
Yeah.
you've got to be streetwise as much as you can in this day and age, and it's not just textbook.
It's true.
I think that I come from a very academic family myself, but you've got to be, I think you've got to learn how to be streetwise. It's not just academics these days, and those who are successful can balance both, and so I think that really helps, because you can't just, whatever you've learned on textbook does not help
Yeah,
you.
I'm grateful for all the setbacks. I think if I was given everything easy, I wouldn't have appreciated. When I see girls, and I think, wow, you are really fortunate. You have that support from parents. You have a lot of
Yeah,
going on for you. You are quite well off, and you think, yeah, but then they don't give it their heart and soul. Whereas I know, I see the drive in me. I had
yeah,
that passion to find something, and it's the same. I want to put that in my kids. I can't make everything ready for them. And I think there's a lot of learning that they'll have to do themselves, and until they don't learn from that, I can't say that yes, they're ready for the world. And this day and age, like you say, we have to be streetwise, and that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best way to learn.
What's the best advice that you've been given by someone?
So much.
Yeah,
So
what's
much
one
advice.
one thing that you take and you have it in your heart, and you every time you do something.
When in 2009 I won the British Asian Sports Awards, and this was the same time where Amir Khan took his award home. I
Right.
met Denise Lewis.
Oh
She
yeah.
came up to me, hugged me, and said, "Salma, I was on the judging panel. I had to fight for you. I wanted to make sure you win this award tonight because this makes such a big difference, and this is what I want. I want to see girls like you." And her advice was, carry on doing what you're doing. Yeah, whatever you're doing, you think nobody is watching. There's so many people out there are actually reading into you, into your story. You've got something to tell, and this is what I want you to do. And I just remember those words of her saying, "Do what you're doing. Just carry on doing what you're doing." And I thought, what am I doing? I'm not doing enough. And just those words, and I thought, wow, somebody is watching over me, and I need to keep doing it. I need to create opportunities for other people around me. My siblings didn't have all this. I have been given the chance to go and drive around, go and see the world and see the countries, and why not don't make something of myself? And I did, and I did it for others at the same time.
Sometimes you don't feel the rewards, or you don't reap
No, you
the rewards,
don't,
and
not
you think,
straight away.
well, why do I need to carry on? But that's a great, it's a great testimony of how somebody has faith in you. Sometimes some people have faith in you more than you have in yourself.
It's true.
You
It's
know,
so
and
true.
I'm blessed as well to have friends and family like that, who, if you're down, they'll pick you straight up, and then they'll say, "Look, no, don't forget who you are." So that's a
It's
nice
so true.
reminder,
It
isn't
is. It is. It is. And I
it? So,
think
yeah,
you don't do it for these awards, these
yeah,
trophies, or these names. They come along the way. They're a bonus. I didn't know anything about these. I was shortlisted. I was nominated by people around me, and I'm grateful for that. I'm gonna be ever so grateful to them, and I would say personally, I've said thank you to them. But yeah, you don't do it for these awards. You don't do it for the initials at the end of your name, but they come along the way. And if it means that your story is going to inspire someone, is going to save someone's life, is going to help people that are going through domestic violence, they're going to stand up for themselves. Everyone has a right to live the way they want to live, and why not? And if you are doing right under the Almighty's eyes, then nobody has should control how you are, or who you are, or try to change you. And I'm very fortunate to be in a household, in an environment where I've not been told to change, and I am who I am, and I'm blessed, alhamdulillah, for that.
because sometimes we feel that we can't do something until we hear something from someone else and hear their
Yes.
story and think, actually, you know what, she had a really hard time, and
Mhm.
we don't realize that you don't have such a fortunate family, that you lost your mother at such a young age. You really had to struggle for your career, and it was your own drive. And so for someone listening to you, there could be many more Salmas, inshallah, in the making.
Inshallah, inshallah. I'm just a local girl, and there's a lot of younger girls are still in contact with me, and they say, "Salma, we're so proud. We see you on TV, and we're telling our brothers or our dads, look, that's my friend," and they feel proud for you. And I think, wow, that's what you want. That's the feeling that I've looked forward to making for everyone. When I'm working as a nurse, people think, yeah, she's just a nurse and that's it. And she never goes home. She's always at work, and she goes home to her kids, and that's it. That's a life. But when you talk about everything else that you've achieved,
Do they know? Does everybody know at work
now they're
what you
getting to
do?
know. Yeah, otherwise before then they didn't know. But I
Right.
take
You
I
kept it
take
quite
the
separate
wows.
then. You kept
I
it.
did at one point. I thought, I don't want people to think this is just my identity, or why am I talking about it at work? And
Yeah.
people might think, oh, Salma's doing everything, and not nothing of one thing. And
Yeah.
I wanted to prove, look, anything that I do, I always put my heart and soul into it, and I do it as best as I can. So it's not that I just want to try this, I want to tick off boxes. No, I do everything with a full heart.
that you've got to do
Yeah.
what's best for you. People say just do one thing, do it for the rest of your life, and that, no, you know, try different things and find out what you like, and you can excel at many. But you have to obviously start one first and then carry on. But there's such a great point that you don't have to be stuck in one thing. You've
No,
diversified into so many, you know, from umpiring to having your own
you
initiative.
progress and you learn, and I've made all these opportunities for myself. And
Yeah,
there's two
and you
kinds of
got a
people
job
in
in,
this
you know,
world.
at the hospital. So there's such a, like you said, yeah, creating opportunities.
Yeah, do you want to be that person does the one job all their lives, or you want to be that one person that does everything in that one life?
Yeah.
You know, it's your choice. You pick what you want. And if you're doing something, don't have a moan and say, oh, this is my life and this is how it's been made. You can change it. There's still so much for me to learn. There's so much for me to do. I just hope my next step is I want to write a book or get someone to write a book for me, and that's
I was
something
actually
to
going to say, what have you got planned in the next 5 years? And so that's a nice kind of segue to the next question. Is that so? You're thinking of writing a book,
yes, I'm hoping to write a book,
inshallah?
write a
And I think
piece
that's
about,
going to be. I think
inshallah.
that's a great way of spreading your message even further.
Yeah, and I want to put it just like a cherry on the top to say, look, that's I've done everything, alhamdulillah, and take all the learnings from it, the experience, and a legacy that I want to leave behind for my kids, for
Yeah.
the younger community out there. It's a guidance for women and girls to find something to hold on to. I'm not going to force everyone to play sports. Not every one of us can play. Some people will like to umpire, some people will be scorers, some people will commentate. This you do your medical, you do your nursing. I had to balance my education with my passion. So there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of things that I want to prove to people. I've gained a lot from this. It's given me a lot of respect, my reputation, and it's motivated me. And it's people like you that we need to support us and help us to share our story, because not everyone knows our story until we don't have that platform. So I'm ever so grateful for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I am blessed, and you know, I'm honored for you to be on my show and the
Thank
second
you.
award winner, because it is people like you that have to be highlighted, and the fact that and it's nice that I've come back and I've connected with so many of the people that I've known before, and you're one of them, and I was so happy when you got it. So besides the book and everything else, is there something else that you would want to do in the next few years? Where does Salma see herself in 5 years besides the book? Is there something else that you want to do?
I will continue very close contacts with sports. At one point, I thought about commentating, but
Yeah.
I've looked into where the ECB, the England Cricket Board, they've taken into a lot of liking that I'm an umpire, and I believe that's like hinting towards me, saying, Salma, not many Asian women are umpiring.
Yes.
Please progress with your umpiring, because only now history is being made. We are having female umpires in the men's games. So
Oh,
that's
interesting.
something that
Because that's
it's
not
we want
something
to
that
see.
kind of I didn't know that you did. I didn't know you did umpiring. So
Yes,
when I read that, I was like, and so now that is so umpiring, a female umpire for a men's game.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
diverse, playing in, yeah, umpiring in different games, and that's something that they are taking liking into, and it's probably
I can
something
see
that
you doing that, Salma, really well. I've got a good feeling about that. That's something.
I as a when you've played cricket and you know the laws of cricket, you
Yeah.
know how to play fair, play
Yeah.
safe, and I think yes. Oh, and you got an interest. You're not going to be bored. It's going to be hard work. You are you standing there for hours and hours in both innings. I still want to continue my nursing, because with the pandemic, it's so rewarding. People have realized how
How have
much of
you managed? How have you managed actually of being frontline and
I've been
continuing?
fortunate. I got away with it because I had my baby and he's turned one. So
Oh,
I was on
amazing.
maternity leave. So
Oh,
I
right.
didn't go.
Yeah.
Only when he turned about 10 months, then I went back into work and I picked up shifts. It was
Right.
scary because my mother-in-law, I remember saying, please, if you don't have to go to work, please don't go, because you've
Don't
got to
go.
come back to the babies. My husband had coronavirus and he had to deal with it. It was hard. He couldn't even get up to read namaz. It was
Oh,
so hard, and
really?
it
Was it
was
quite
he was
severe then?
shaken up by the whole experience. And Alhamdulillah, kids were safe. We kept him isolated in a room. I was there. I had the support of my sister-in-laws, so I had a lot of support. And I
Yeah.
saw him, and I thought it really shook us up. I've been okay. We are being swabbed every week. Where the
Yeah.
dialysis center. I've lost such great and beautiful souls, beautiful dialysis patients. They become family. We know them that often. We've been worried as for them, and checking on them. But there's a lot of patients that we've lost. We've lost a patient where he's left behind his partner, and she's 5 months pregnant. So it's just a shame that some families will never get to meet the babies will never get to meet their parents, and it's sad. It's just horrible. I just pray and hope that things do get easier, because
Yeah.
at the moment, every day we are hearing sad news, and it's difficult. We can't ignore it. We are human, and it could happen to anyone, and life is so short. Let's
Yeah.
get away from these grudges and being so ego-minded and disobedient. Let's get along with each other and try to support each other as much as we can.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, of course, that is a, may Allah protect all of us, from
Ameen.
all of this
Ameen.
disease and keep all of our loved ones protected. I mean, so what advice would you give to other young girls who want to start in in the same path as you?
It's
What's the best advice you would say to them, and how they want to kick off their career
I
to
should
going
yeah.
into sport, maybe sports, or maybe it could be football or
And
cricket, anything,
yeah,
not necessarily cricket itself, but how would they approach it? Can they contact you, or what is the process? Would they, wherever they are, because you're based in Birmingham, so how is somebody that wants to start off, or, what kind of age, or what should they do first?
I should always say that they should start off in their schools, primary school, go to your PE teacher, speak to
Yeah.
them, or secondary school, speak to them and say, look, I want to play this for this team, even like netball, basketball. Where do I go from here? Is there local clubs? They will help you search for local clubs. You contact the chairperson or the coaches. They will tell you what dates they are training. Come along, let's get in, have a go. Just like events that we hosted, take part in events. If you like it, we will guide you. We'll put you in the right direction. When you get into the clubs, take it from there to play for national teams and county level teams. Again, it's just knowing who the right person, finding the key people, and
Right.
you can take it from there. My advice to will be to anyone and everyone, say nobody should stop you from doing what you want to do in your life. If it's in the right way, the right direction, make something of yourself. And I like it, attracts really well if you do something for yourself, and you're always learning. There's so much out there to do. Don't put yourself down. No one's gonna give you more sympathy. If you start crying and moaning and saying, oh, this hasn't gone right for me, so what? Get up. It's just a chip on the shoulder. Get up, start all over again. There could be so much wrong going on around you or with your life, but take it as a positive learning, and prove people around you wrong. I've never had to rely on anyone to make something for myself. I've had satisfaction where I've achieved something because of my own hard work, my blood, sweat, and tears. And that's how I see it. If I want to help someone, I won't do it for my own gain. I'm helping them to help their lives. And it's just a starting point. A lot of girls have come up to me and said, Salma, because of you, we got into sports. And now they are sports teachers. And I think, wow, you girls are doing better than me.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see that. My younger siblings have taken learning from it, and they've got into university because I broke that barrier. I went into university, whereas I had older siblings and they didn't go into education. So you don't know, you might do something that will change someone else's life at the same time. So don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Don't wait for the right moment. Make that moment happen. And you just never know who is watching. Life is so short. And I say, yeah, there's so much out there you still got to learn. The world, we have not discovered it, and it's ours. There's so much we've got to take from it, and every day is a blessing. Hello.
Okay, yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better.
I'm sorry, my laptop, it just went off, so I've just put it on
Yeah,
my
I
phone.
think that's you learned in this lockdown. What's the biggest takeaway for you?
The value of time, of how much importance, not everything is important. So we don't miss out on eating out, the dates out. Those things are not as important as sitting at home eating with your family. There's a lot of things that you think, well, actually, I don't miss all of this because it wasn't that as important. You got friends and families that you don't see every day, but they understand you are still at the end of the phone. And when you've been in contact with people and think, yes, we're all in the same boat right now, and we just hope as long as everyone is safe and healthy, that's what matters. So you need to value, you just don't know. It's just anyone. It's not only that people have died from COVID, people have died in car accidents, people have died because they've had cancer and treatment is being delayed. There's so much frustration right now. So you just think, yeah, just value your time, please. Everyone, if anyone leaves anyone with loving words, that's the most important thing right now. It's just get along with everyone. There's still so much,
Just
trouble out in the
kindness. I
world.
think to show kindness during
That's
this
it.
time, especially, isn't it? I think,
It's, it's so true. It,
yeah,
not everyone will appreciate your kindness.
yeah,
So just be yourself, I think. As long
yeah,
as you know your intentions are good and you're right to someone, what more can you do? And if people don't want to see you in that same light, never mind. You haven't done it to please them anyways. You've done it for your own peace of sanity and peace of mind.
yeah. If we don't have these events, obviously we can't meet each other physically. There's no matches going on. What is the best way of actually keeping our spirits high, and how do we still keep on going in this subject?
Yeah, we said like keep fit at home, try to do healthy things, like what we're doing, Zoom meetings, keep in touch with family and friends, learn from each other. I saw a post recently where parents were complaining and said we can't send our kids to school. So what do we teach them? How are they going to learn? But this is the perfect time for them to learn life skills, teach them at home, teach them about learning to ride the bike, learning to cook something, learning discipline. There's so much out here. We've got so much resources. The third world, it's difficult for them, but there should be no excuse for us. We have so much around us to take from.
Absolutely. What have you learned from your children? Because they seem like, they keep you on your toes. What have you learned from them?
That my patience. Um,
Your
oh, they're a
patience.
blessing. You lose a lot of your patience. You think you're going to lose your temper, and all of a sudden they're okay again. Um, they're a blessing. Every day I feel this is my purpose of life now. My kids, my everything. I've
Yeah.
worked hard for them, and I want to enjoy every moment because they're not going to stay this age for long. Soon they'll be grown up and doing their own things, but I want to make every moment count, and I want to spend it with them. I want them to know I'm always going to be here. You want to talk, come to mommy. I will listen to you. You want guidance, go to your dad. That's how we're going to take it. We want them to see us as role models. We want them to share things with us to make their lives easier. We want to look forward to them asking us questions from learning and taking it from there. My eldest, I keep saying to her, Mummy's going to go to the Buckingham Palace. We're going to meet the Queen, and she's so excited, and it means so much to her. And I try to say to her, do you know why I'm going? And she says, yes, Mummy, because you played cricket. And so she understands the fact that you do something good, you get good from it. And
Yeah.
we have an ambulance project set up. I didn't talk about this earlier in Pakistan, and she has seen that we've got that project, and it's helping poor people, helping someone who's injured, getting them into to hospital quicker than what they could have got to. So it's nice that we're doing things for other people. So I focus and I look back at my giving, my medical side of things, and I think I always want to encourage that around me.
That's amazing. You are definitely an all-rounder, Salma. I think not just that you've inspired for one aspect, but like absolutely everything, from being, going into an arena that is male dominated to being in a, being mummy, having a business, collecting awards, doing charity. I wish you all the success in the future, inshallah, with whatever you choose to do. I know that you're gonna be successful at it, and I wish you all the best for you and your family. And take care of yourself during this year,
You
and be
too.
safe.
I appreciate all your time. Thank you so much. I really did. It helps me. If it means that I can share my story in a positive sense, and again, we are making a difference for other people and listeners around us. Thank you so much for this, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support as well. It's like guests like you that make me enjoy my podcast even more. I absolutely love it, and I wish you all the success. Take care of yourself, and I'm so glad to reconnect with you. Take care, my darling. Take
Thank
care.
you so much. You take care. Allah Hafiz.